Alright, hello everybody. I am Courageous. I am a Scrim enjoyer. Love this game. Have been playing Oath for a long time, since beta actually. And with me here I have the #1 Oath, Birouf. Introduce yourself.
The one and only. Hello, I'm Birouf. I'm Oath main. I play Oath in scrims, in tournament, in ranked. And I love the champion. He's broken. And I win tournament with him, so yeah, I have good tips to give.
Actually wins tournaments. Wow. Okay, let's start with the most important thing on Oath actually. Remember what we said? Most important thing? Keeping your shield alive. Right? Tell us a little bit about that.
So your shield on Oath is your #1 ability, and that what's allow you to do a lot of stuff, and that what's prevent you from dying. If you lose your shield, you die.
Exactly.
To make it simple.
So
your shield is everything.
Yeah.
It's more valuable than your own life.
Exactly. So the idea of Oath is once you play him a lot, you will know what abilities to shield, what abilities to just tank. Because there's certain abilities that do a lot of damage to shield, and you'd rather just tank them to keep your shield charged. Also, if you go on an enemy team, we can show you like where it shows up. So if you hit me, look on the bottom left here. This is where the shield thing goes, and also around the cursor you can see it, but it's yellow. You can see your shield energy. If you break, if there's one more, boom, it's broken. Okay, so the idea is never let your shield break unless you need to. Okay, let's start off with one thing that most people do not know about Oath. Is that every time he blocks damage, his dash cooldown gets reset. So if you go something like, I don't know, Myth or something, so the more damage you block, the more dash cooldown will go back. So if you look at my dash here, boom, he's gonna shoot it, boom, you see that, and my dash is back. So this is an important thing because this is what makes Oath super mobile when engaging into enemies. All right, next, very important ability, the parry. This ability right here. What does it do? Well, it firstly makes your shield invulnerable. So your shield won't take any damage. So abilities like, let's say, Myth Ult, usually they would break your shield. Okay, well, now I completely missed and my shield is broken. Let's do that again. You see that? I took no damage on my shield. So the idea is that stuff like important abilities like, I don't know, Myth Ult or maybe Ghost Laser. Yeah, Ghost Laser is an important one, right? Because Ghost can reset his cooldown if he hits people. You want to shield parry it, right? You want to shield bash it. Your shield bash also doesn't have, yeah, like this. Look at that. I just shield bashed it and it does nothing. Your shield bash also doesn't have that much of a cooldown, so it's good to just use it, right? So the idea to keep your shield alive is shield bash the abilities that will break your shield, tank the abilities that, if you don't have, shield bash up, and any ability that won't really break your shield, you know, like LMBs, just shield them normally. Right? I don't need to shield bash this. Oh, now it's low, now I need to shield bash.
No damage. Yep.
There you go. That's the basics of Oath. His heal. Okay, heal's very simple. Wherever you place your hammer, it'll do a healing aura around it with a burst at the end. Okay, so another thing that heal does is, at the end of the burst, boom, it does a res effect without me even standing on it. See that? So you can res it with, you can boom, and then you can just go fight or do something else. You know, just leave your teammate there to res passively. It's also faster if you stack res effects, by the way. So if you stand on him and you pop this, you res with much faster. So it's one of the strong things Oath can do as well, right? He can just shield. Oh yeah, another important thing about shield is no enemies cannot walk through your shield. Walking through. So he's really good at like holding a space, or like holding a wisp, or like holding a res beacon.
You always go dash max on Oath because it allows you to refound the cooldown of your shield bash, so you have more protection on your shield.
Yeah, so you
and
see
on
this?
engage as well.
I shield bash, I dash, I hit my dash, I have my shield bash again. So the idea here is that Oath is super mobile when jumping into a group of enemies, because he can jump into a group of enemies with his dash, shield bash a bunch of damage, his dash will be up again, he can dash again, and if he hits an enemy with the dash, he can refund his shield bash. So for example, if I do like this, see, I have my shield bash again, I can shield bash again, and now I have my this again, and I can do this again, etc., etc., etc. So everything works with each other, so that you're like super mobile and can like perma dash. So he's really good at engaging basically, because you can just like boom, engage in, and then get out if there's like a bunch of damage. This, and I'm out. See ya. Ult stands in this little line that you see here. So there's a little line here, and all these 4 areas, they explode and do a bunch of damage. This is done, so if you don't hit the line on them, you see it just slows them. But it still explodes into the damage. Another thing about ult is it's dunked, but it only dunked with the line. So if I don't hit the line on them, see, it doesn't dunk. Also, you can fly under the ult. You see that? But the dunk happens right, boom, here, you see that? It's the line. If it's that, like right in front of him, where the line comes out, that will dunk. Nice on that. So if you want to dunk, well, first of all, you have to be really close to them, and it has to be that little line that comes out in the middle. So the stun part is right in front of Oath is the one that dunks. Yeah, I just completely missed that, but we replied for fun, as is typical. Oh, you want to talk about his LMB?
Yep. So for his LMB, the reason the Oath is really strong as well, it's because he's a distance champion and melee at the same time. So you have his range LMB like this. This is how you get the most damage output on Oath. It goes back and forth, and close range, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So in every situation where you poke enemy team, you're waiting for an engage, you want to kite back, you just spam this LMB. This will give you most damage. And then for other situation when the enemy gets to your melee range, that's where you can use the LMB charge.
Yeah.
This allows you like to stun through for like terrains and stuff that where you're like really close to walls, terrains. Yeah, this will allow you to like push back enemy team when they're engaging, when you're fighting like melee champion like Brawl, Nyx. That's where you're gonna use the charge LMB.
Yeah, let me just show
Like
that.
it's really good to combo it with your shield. So you just push them back, shield bash, hold LMB, push them back again. You just fight like this, and let's go back to distance LMB, then go back to charge if they come to your range, and boom. And you gotta just balance a bit between the two, like. But in general, if you want more damage, you just spam the range LMB.
Yeah. You can combine charge LMB with dash to increase its range and the amount of boost. So that's with dash. Do you see how much further he goes? You see that? And how much further I go. So that's usually that's what you do when you have a charge LMB. You combine it with a dash to increase the distance that people fly and to increase your damage. Because if you look
and
here,
when you do it without jumping, if you're staying on the ground, you hold, you dash LMB. This gives you a 2 cooldown reduction on your dash. But only if you don't glide before or you're not in the air. So you gotta hold it on the ground, shift, let go, you get a 2-second cooldown reduction on your shift.
There you go. You can even combine this with shield bash to make it go even further. Usually you don't do that. But that's like an example where it's useful, right? But like from this distance, this won't stun. But combining it with dash will. See that? Because you get much further. Okay, another thing I would really like to mention is that Oath DPS depends on how far away you are from your opponents. Because you see, this takes longer to throw and come back. But the moment they're very close, you can just spam it. And usually, charge LMB is actually weaker than just spamming LMB. So usually what you want to do when you get close to somebody, you don't really want to charge LMB if you're going purely for DPS. Obviously, charge LMB is also good for stun and pooping people away. But if you purely want DPS, just spam LMB like this from close range.
Yeah, usually the charge LMB is just a setup to push someone against the wall. Like if, for example, if he goes against the wall, if you go like here, you can like charge LMB, stun him, shield bash, and then you can spam the small ones.
Yeah.
It's like a small setup to stun someone against the wall, and then you can just spam to get extra damage.
I also like to use...
But just spamming on repeat the charge LMB is not going to be good. You lose too much damage.
Exactly. So you can use it as a bait as well. So if you know an opponent's going to go through some choke point, you can just charge LMB, boom, blast them out.
Just gotta adapt to the situations.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can actually out DPS most DPS characters from close range, but the problem is from mid range and long range, usually the actual DPS characters, like I don't know, Carbine and Myth, Bishop, will out DPS you.
And that's why it's a bit harder to hit long range, because by the time it goes in, goes back, the enemy team has the time to read like your hammer going back.
Is close range like this. That's where you want to deal with.
Also a tip with the LMB, when you dash on ult, instead of just dashing like this, you always want to charge a bit your LMB, because it's going to cancel the animation and you're going to get the extra damage. That's something you got to think about sometimes. Instead of just dashing in like this, you just hold a bit and dash, and you get the damage of the dash and the charge LMB. It's like some extra damage input you can get in a fight.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's most of it. Let's go through bread and butter combos. So when you engage on Oath, right, you're kind of vulnerable while engaging, right? If I just dash in, he can just LMB me while I'm dashing in. And let's say there's 3 enemies here that can all shoot me while I'm jumping in, and I take a lot of damage. Well, luckily, Oath has a carry which he can use during his dash. This is what makes Oath really, really strong in engaging, because he can be invulnerable while dashing in, like this. I block every single ability. Like if this is a team of 3, I've just soaked up all their damage, and my shift is back up. And you see, my bash is back up because I hit my shift. So the typical thing as Oath that you do, if you're not engaging for an ult, if you're just engaging for some damage, is to bait abilities onto you, because they'll all waste their damage and their abilities onto your shield. You'll parry it, block it, and then if it looks bad, you can get out again. Or if it still looks good, you have your shift back up and you can go again. Right? I have my shift back up, boom, I can go again, etc., etc., etc. So this is what makes Oath really good. He just baits the abilities of enemy champions. He's really annoying in close range. He boops you around. He just doesn't die. He's invulnerable. And then your teammates can just, start shooting those enemies, and the enemies won't have any abilities left to shoot them with.
Yeah, it's just something you should not be afraid to spam. Like whenever you see someone like trying to engage you, getting close range, if you just want to try to defend the position, don't be scared to just do this, shift the shield bash. It's like the main mechanic on Oath, and you can abuse it because you're gonna get your dash CD back very fast. So like you shouldn't really be scared at all to shift in as Oath. The combo I like to use also is people don't really think about it, but when you dash in like this, holding your LMB right after or between the thing is like really good. Because you dash like this, it's ready and you push again.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of Oath not doing it. They just shift shield bash, and then they're done and they wait and they use LMB like this. But if you start casting while you're dashing, you can do it right after. It kinda, enemies are not used to Oath doing this. So you get an extra hit on them and maybe an extra stun against the wall.
Oh, since we're here, I want to show something that's really cool about Oath that only Oath can do. Let's say I am an enemy and I want to go through this choke point, right? Well, the moment Birouf holds his shield, I'm stuck here. You see this? I'm stuck here. Let's say Birouf's allies are behind me and they're chasing me into here. Now, what Birouf can do is he can go block my path here, and all of a sudden, I can't go through, and my allies are shooting, or his allies are shooting me, and I die. So typically, what you do on Oath is if you see a nice engage, you dash, ult, 2 LMVs, and a shield bash after. So boom.
Shield bash before.
Shield bash before, yes. Like that. Because you do a bunch of damage, you remove a bunch of their shield, and your allies can now do a lot of damage to those enemies. Ult is very important on Oath. So you really need to be playing around your ult. So the moment you've used your ult, let's say I've used my ult in a different fight, and it went well, we killed that, or we killed 2, 1 escaped, we didn't get the reset, now my ult is on 20-second cooldown. A lot of the time, what you'll see me and Birouf doing is, let's say there's another team, and they're like in a perfect situation for us to engage. Well, we just wait 20 seconds because it's much better and much safer if you do have both ults up. And that brings me to my other thing. Oath ult is not only good for engage. Oath ult is also good for if you get engaged, or if you need to save your allies, or if you need to create space. Because look how big this is, right? If the enemies can't just walk through there, because then they take so much damage, and then all of a sudden you can kill them, right? So if an ally is getting screwed up, or you need to make some space to get out, right? You can just ult, get out, and you create so much space. So ult is also a defensive tool. Birouf will demonstrate now the one-shot combo. So
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the good thing about Oath is that when you combine all the previous combos, you can do a really big one-shot damage combo. Not one-shot to every character, but some of them can take like maybe 70% of their HP just by doing this. So we saw the charge LMB, we saw it combining with the dash, but if you combine the charge LMB, the dash, and the shield bash all at once, you get crazy damage input on someone. And you push them super far away. That's like the basic combo you can do on Oath, and they take all the damage at once. And that's how you engage as well sometimes. If you see someone like around the corner or someone engaging, walking up to you, just do this. They take so much damage, you push them away, you stand them against the wall. So that's something you really abuse. So you charge LMB, let go, shift, open shield, shield bash. You practice it all at once, boom.
Okay. Okay, and lastly, also there's the one-shot combo with ult.
You can combine it to the main combo on ult would be ult, shield bash, shift, shield bash. That would be like the max damage input, let's say. But it's not really that useful anymore because you commit a lot, and you're not sure to one-shot them.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say about this is, you can bash people into multiple AoE procs of your ults. So usually you just get 1 like this, or 2. But if you hit it right, you can get them to 3, and then you do much more. But usually it's bad to do because you've already you need your shift to do it, right? You need to do a shift shield bash to really push them far into your ult. And usually you already use your shift to kind of engage like this, so it's not very useful. And it's better to keep your shift.
Yeah. But it's good to know sometime when, like, let's say you have 2 enemies at your close range or they engage you, and you get a lucky 2-man stun. Like, for example, while you stun them, you have time to do also the one-shot combo. Like, what I like to do when this happens, when they like engage on me and I get a good ult like this, I go like this, and then do the one-shot combo.
Yeah.
And if you do this on the like Myth, Jhin, or any low HP character, they get almost one-shots. You do so much damage.
So I want to also preface this. If you're playing with a team, right, the idea is you ult somebody and you never really shield bash them afterwards, because if you shield bash them, you mess up your allies' abilities, because your allies will want to shoot the shield, the stunned character. So usually what I do, let's say I have 2 allies behind me, I go boom, I go behind him, hold my shield, and shield bash into my allies. So now he's in between me and my allies and he has nowhere to go. So the combos with bashing people, you usually only do if you're 1v1ing, 1v2ing, something like that.
Yeah, but most of the time you have a team behind you as ult, and when you get a good ult setup, usually, even if you have a lot of damage, your team is gonna do the job and kill them for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So for Oath, the best build right now, if you want to play him like kind of tank support and you play it in tournament Scrim, you're gonna want to play first wise. You want to play Greenwood Grass. That's not because of the mana, like you don't really need extra mana anymore, but just for the max HP bonus, like the stack you get, it's really good on Oath because your shield scales on your max health. So getting this extra HP is really good for Oath. And then as a second option, I like to go Burning Palm because you need some extra damage on Oath. And this is one of the most valuable grip you can get. So that's the two grips I get. Talking about boots, there is two options. First one is like the movement speed and dash haste. So you can get extra dash cooldown reduction. Or the Vive Puppies that gives inbound healing to your teammates. And they walk faster, like moving towards you. So when you want to group to your team or play for them or peel them, it's really good. Now if we go to relics, the best one right now is the Guardian Angel. You get this because you can combine a 3-stack revive on your ally with your Q, with the burst of your Q, yourself, and the GA, so you get a really fast and instant revive on your team. See how fast I revive?
And I'm up again.
So that's why the GA is like really, really good. And also the second passive of the GA is the Touch of Life. Whenever you're touching an ally, it heals you for 15% of respective max health. So whenever there's fights, during the fight you can just dash to your ally, see the healings. It's like really good when you like do an engage, fight a team, oh it's kind of bad, you walk back to your team, you press heal, plus this, and you get the healing from your Q plus the Touch of Life.
Yeah, and I want to
Like the amount of heal.
The Touch of Life is really what makes this very strong. Just look at this. Look at how much health he just gained back.
Plus the Q, you get so much value out of this.
Yeah. And this has a cooldown, by the way. So, and it heals you as well. So if you need healing, you can also go touch an ally and you will get that healing.
It's like the most valuable relic on Oath right now.
But
and then
can I say one thing about Guardian Angel is that in a solo queue environment where you don't really communicate with your allies, it's not as good because you need to touch your allies and you need to stay grouped together, right? It's very, very good in a Scrim environment and when you can talk to your allies. But otherwise...
that wouldn't be the build I recommend in solo queue.
Yeah, but we go through that after this.
Then as a second option, there's like, let's say 3 different options right now. First one is the Wildfire Drive. So you take this with the Face Shredder's boots, the one that gives you dash haste, plus this one is like another 10% dash haste, and you go the dash haste perks, so you get a total of 25% dash haste. It's kind of good on Oath because you get, I think, it's a total of 1.5 second cooldown on your dash, so you can really abuse it and get your dash all the time on Oath. It makes a big difference, especially when you're in fight and you can get it back with your shield bash and your shield. You almost have your dash all the time. So that's like one build you can go for to really abuse the dash. And also when you engage, because the Wildfire does armor shred, it's really good when you're in close to enemy range. See how much damage it takes in his armor just by standing there next to him. It's like really good option when you play a lot of in melee range of the enemies. And when you combine this with your dash during fight, your ult, you just shred a lot of armor, and I really like this build. So that's one option. The second option would be the Grabby the Squid. This is an option if you have like a maybe hard commit or chase comp in your team. So let's say if you play maybe with a Ghost, a Brawl, and you're really about chasing people, engaging people, running fast around the map. That's where I would go the Grabby, because Oath can combo a lot with the Grabby. You can do all the previous combo with the Grabbers, like holding your hammer, holding your shield for shield bash. You can combine everything on Oath, so that's a really good option as well. You can combine it with your ult as well if you get it before. And it prevents you from using a dash, so not using a dash to engage on Oath is really good sometimes. But again, this item, it kind of depends on the comp you play. And the last option, the one I play usually, but I also play the Wildfire, is this new item, Scarab Scepter. This one is like, it depends also on the team you play with, but this gives you a total of, I think it was like 500 something HP shield whenever you use an ability on someone. So you see, I just use my shift and I get a 500 shield on me. So you can prevent a lot of damage during the fights, and whenever you get hit, the cooldown gets reduced. Since you're out, you're usually in the melee, you take a lot of damage. You're gonna get the cooldown kind of fast. So see, I already have it back up. I get it in like 5 seconds maybe when it's a 20 cooldown if you don't get hit. So you can get a lot of value out of this during fights. So yeah, it's up to you between those 3 items, which one you prefer, which one you want to adapt to your comp. I'd say right now Wildfire and Wildfire would be the best option right now, I'd say. The one where you get the most value out of it. But the 2 other ones are a really good option as well.
Yeah,
it just depends on your playstyle of your team and everything. Yeah. Solo queue build, playing Oath as a support, it's boring.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cannot always rely on your teammate. With the matchmaking, you don't always have good teammates. So you kind of need to be solo carrying and solo killing people. And if you play like GA or Wildfire, it's not going to be that good to solo carry. So you want to maximize damage when you're playing solo queue. So when you want to go is the Burning Palm again, because this gives the most like extra damage. And the Fate Claw, so you go ability damage. Then in boots, I usually take I still take the dash haste boots, because it's always good to have extra dash haste on Oath. And damage-wise, in relics, Thunderbolt is like still a good option on Oath. And then as a second option, you can go Sunweaver. So you get 5% for the Thunderbolt ability damage, and another 5 with the Sunweaver, plus the Faith Tech, that's a 9. So yeah, you get a 19% ability damage on Oath.
So how Sunweaver works is obviously you hit the ability, your next LMB would fire a projectile, and Thunderbolt is if you hit in rapid succession somebody with LMBs or abilities, then they get thunder on them that does a bunch of damage. And since Oath does a lot of comboing, so like let's say I ult, you see how much damage that is? That was the Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I'm a full HP level 15 Oath.
Yeah.
And I lost 3/4 of my HP.
In the one-shot build, you go like this, see how much damage. If it was an Ash, I
Yeah,
think we have 1 HP right now.
The Thunderbolt is like really the best option, because you'd think like the damage is not that much, like 100 plus your Hunter's level, you think it's like not that much. But the important part is like the burst you get. It's like it surprises your enemy. See, if I just do like this,
yeah,
that's without using my ult. He takes so much damage. Yeah, you almost die instant. Like, you can solo carry his ult and Rake with this build. The Sword was a good option, but since the nerf, it's like
not that good anymore.
Not as good as before, and you lose too much. Like, the amount of dash haste you lose just to get the extra damage is like not worse.
Yeah. Okay.
And Sunweaver is gonna get more value because like you shift LMB, shield bash, LMB, ult, LMB.
Yeah. So Sunweaver gives a projectile every time you use an ability.
And that's about it for the ranked build.
Okay, so let's go through perks that are specific. So you can go your normal perks, whatever you like to go. Some specific perks on Oath that I like to go is Armor Shredder, right? But also Glider Booster. And I'm going to explain to you why Glider Booster I like to go. So Oath has some movement tech that I will explain now. So first of all, with Oath, if you just dash like this, you don't get that much distance or speed. But if you cancel your dash immediately with a glide, you gain a lot more distance and a lot more speed. Like this. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do as Oath, right? You cancel your dash with a glide. Second thing is his charge LMB conserves your momentum. So what you do is you gain some momentum with, I don't know, maybe a dash like this, and then you can chain your charge LMBs, right? Like 1 or 2 of them usually is good enough, and then it slows down. You charge LMB, and you release your charge LMB, and cancel the release with a glide, like this. And that's how you conserve your momentum. But you don't only need to do this with shift. You can also do this, for example, through what are these things called again? Wind rings?
Wind rings.
So if you go through wind rings, you gain some momentum, and then you can use that momentum as well to carry it over with your charge LMBs. So that's what we like to call pod racing. Additionally, you can do this with Grabby the Squid, which makes you go super far.
And also, while we're here, depending where on the map, but using those rails as ult is really good, because you can charge your hammer and get extra momentum if you jump at the end of it. Like, let's say Courageous is on the other side. I charge my hammer, I jump at the end, and then I do the combo. It's like really good to abuse when you're next to rail as ult.
Yeah, and now to the reason I like to go glider booster. Well, because you're canceling a lot of your shift with glide and you're using the pod racing technique with the charge LMB, glider booster actually makes you go a lot faster. So it's easier to do this pod racing technique over Abyss, because when you're not over Abyss, when you're on land, you can hit the ground and lose your momentum. But you can actually do it on land as well, but you just need to hit it perfectly, right? Like this, that I just did. So you have to perfectly hit a charge LMB and into a release, into a glide, so you don't hit the floor before your shift momentum. There, didn't charge my LMB long enough. There, I charged it too much, right? And then this one also I charged too much. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, like that. Like that. You can do it over land, but it's easier over this, is basically what I'm trying to say. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Ciao.